Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Happy Mid-Autumn Festival. Did you see the moon tonight? The 15th day of the 8th lunar month is a very important traditional festival in China, and it's also my favorite festival. People gather with family, loved ones, and friends to admire the full moon and share mooncakes. Although my family is far away and my loved one, he hasn't shown up yet. Last week, a local classmate from Hong Kong prepared mooncakes for the whole class. Salted egg yolk filling, it happens to be my absolute favorite. This classmate is a big fan of Eileen Chang. Coincidentally, because I read the monologue of Meng Yanli, a character written by Eileen Chang, she got so excited and insisted on giving me an extra mooncake, saying this one is for Eileen Chang. I have to admit, I felt a little embarrassed accepting one more. But that's how I ended up with 2 delicious mooncakes. It made me realize how small acts of kindness can brighten someone's day, and I'll pay that forward. The celebrations didn't stop there. Oktoberfest was China's national day, and I went to watch the fireworks display that night. Let me tell you, the rooftop of our academy offers this incredible view of Victoria Harbour. When those fireworks started exploding, painting the night sky with their brilliant colors, they looked like dancing stars, and I almost closed my eyes to make a wish. There's something about beautiful moments like these that stick with you. I do have a good memory, and I'll remember them for a long time. It's hard to believe the new semester has been going on for over a month now. Those few weeks were interesting. I got lost looking for studios and rehearsal rooms more times than I'd like to admit. Some of these buildings are like literal mazes. I swear they move the rooms around when we are not looking. But hey, now I can navigate to all my classes, and I've managed to remember all my classmates' faces and names. That's progress. Speaking of classes, I actually gave my first presentation last week. I shared Franz Kafka's In the Penal Colony. The story came to my mind when we got the assignment because I remembered being struck by how the main character seemed like a martyr. Those people who value their beliefs more than their own lives. I've always been drawn to that kind of intensity. For years, I have been fascinated by people who are so committed to their art and beliefs. Like some directors I deeply admire, Rimas Dominas, Yukio Ninagawa. Those were creators who kept working until their very last breath, even from their sickbeds. But when I reread In the Penal Colony recently, I found it is much more complex and, frankly, much crueler than I remembered. I can't really call the officer a martyr anymore. He's more like a monster of faith. Even so, the ending still impressed me a lot. The officer, a devoted believer in the well-designed killing machine which he calls the former commandant's life's work, talks about his precision with great respect and enthusiasm. He didn't even dare to touch the machine's diagrams lightly, even though he carried them with him. However, after failing to persuade the traveler sent by the current commandant to help save the machine, the talkative officer became silent and took off his heavy uniform, something he called a remnant of home. He touched his silver pot, and suddenly Salami just sighed in disgust as a farewell. He lay down on the machine, perhaps the only condemned man not tied down. But the machine was old and broken, so the officer didn't die in the way he had hoped. A real monster of a face, right? The story was written in 1914 after World War I broke out. I was worried that if I talked about Kafka with the professor in class and couldn't answer her questions, it would be very embarrassing. So I quickly read more of his stories in advance. While reading, I realized that I had read many of them many years ago. Among them, the Metamorphoses made me smile in understanding. I get it. Kafka had a tense relationship with his father, which was reflected in this work. When the young clerk, who was the backbone of the family, turned into an insect, his family became more and more distant from him. After realizing this, he chose to die. Those two stories are quite representative of Kafka's style, that blend of the absurd and profoundly true. People who have a little shadow in their hearts will definitely like his works. I used to consume works like this all the time. Writers and directors like Martin McDonagh and Roman Polanski were my go-to. When I was about 20, this teenage girl who had just escaped from her mother's control. Oh, you have no idea how much Martin McDonagh, the beauty queen of Linen, captivated me. This story about a mother and a daughter, they love and hurt each other, with the daughter eventually becoming like her mother despite all her struggles. It's chilling. But these years, I found myself drawn more to realistic themes. Works that depict ordinary people's lives in a natural and delicate way. I guess I've grown into a more emotionally stable adult. Let me test this theory with a recent story. A few days ago, I was reading at my desk when I heard the washing machine beep, signaling it was done. I got up and surprise! My entire dining area was flooded. The floor was covered in water, glistening and actually reflecting my shadow back at me. With every step I took, gentle ripples spread in circles around my feet. It's almost beautiful in a weird way. When I walked to the bathroom, I found the drain was clogged. But here's the thing, I didn't panic. I didn't even feel particularly upset. I just looked around and calmly found a dustpan and started scooping up the water and then mopped the entire floor clean. No tears, no feeling sorry for myself, just dealing with it. It occurred to me that if I ever make a film someday, there might be a scene just like this. The heroine's house flaws. She calmly deals with it and cleans everything up, then goes out and accidentally stumbles upon a wonderful small restaurant. And from that day on, it becomes her favorite spot. That's how life sometimes works, right? Even the mess can lead you to something good. I guess I've always been someone who connects things. Give me one small clue and my mind will whip it into 10 different stories. I'm naturally emotional and detail-oriented. which has been interesting these past few days as I have been playing love advisor to one of my good friends. I like this role. She and the boy clearly have feelings for each other, but neither has made a move yet. Listening to her talk, completely intoxicated by those subtle undercurrents between them, I can't help but smile. Love is really beautiful, isn't it? It reminds me of those lines by Adonis. When I sink my eyes into yours, I glimpse deep down, I see the ancient yesterday, and I see all that I can't comprehend. I feel the universe flowing between your eyes and mine. Isn't that the truth? When we give love and receive love, the world transforms completely. Everything becomes softer, more lovely. Because of that one person we love, we feel more deeply connected to the world. So, I've been thinking, when we watch the New Year's Eve fireworks this year, will there be 4 of us? I have no idea what Yuelao has in store for any of us. By the way, Yuelao is a Chinese matchmaker who ties red strings for fates. I do need to make a wish to him. Speaking of wishes, I'm suddenly super hungry. All this talk has me craving barbecue. Specifically, grilled lamb skewers and beef skewers with the right amount of spices. You know, this food talk reminds me of my favorite chapter in The Return of the Condor Heroes. Would you believe that in this epic martial arts story, the part I enjoyed the most was actually about food? Maybe I'll dedicate a future episode to talking about it. That's all for today's start. Thank you for spending time with me. See you next time.